Hello guys, James here. Remember, this is probably be the last video about this guy, but this guy Dowell, he did this before, and I'm going to show you. He did this a long time ago, but he has a history because he likes to seem like he's like everybody's jealous at him and making. Watch what he says. This one guy who is a pastor. Watch what he says to him on his video. This was about 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if Ringo has this or not. I'm gonna show you what he does. Does he kind of tends to see.
Like that he's banning and blocking everybody from straightway, which I'm going to address that in that debate too.
And we have to give honor where honor is due, and respect is due. And this award is well deserved. Hebrew Man of the Year, Pastor Dowell.
The guy I'm supposed to be debating has banned me and blocked me on Facebook. He has banned and blocked Elder Rufus. And I guess the only means of communication I have is with Michael Israel. I just don't understand these type of feminine traits and these feminine attitudes in these men today. I just don't get it. And apparently he's done banned me or blocked me because I can't get in touch with, I can't communicate with him. So I'm going to have to use my brother Michael Israel to try to set this debate up. And I hope he doesn't crawdad on me and get out of it. Because, the sole purpose of this debate right here is to let truth reign. And I think I allegedly got a viable and formable foe. I may even let Elias, if he can get off of work, I ain't may let Elias, my little son in the faith that I bought up. He's 21 years old. I may even let him hand his ass to him. John Calvin ain't even got a book in the scriptures. And you ask me what I think about John Calvin. John Calvin, as far as I'm concerned, to hell with it. You don't mean shit to me. Not a damn thing. And then I found out the other day that he said his wife was an elder. Can y'all imagine that? A woman elder. A woman elder. You can't make this stuff up. These people are pagan, masquerading Hebrew Israelites, Christians. That's what they are. I hope he don't back out. I hope he don't back out. Because I'm going to be unmerciful on him. Totally unmerciful. Pocket. I'm gonna show y'all how to put it in pocket, and I'm gonna put you in pocket too. The mind tricks the body tricks the mind, it's crazy.
That's how he handles debates.
The mind tricks the body tricks the mind, it's crazy. The mind tricks the body tricks the mind, it's crazy. The mind tricks the body tricks the mind, it's crazy. The mind tricks the body tricks the mind, it's crazy. The mind tricks the body tricks the mind, it's crazy. The mind tricks the body thinks the mind. Shalom. Lock, Adam, Yahshua, and to others, Shalom, Eda, Israel. What is going on in the Hebrew Israelite community? We have the Hebrews to Negroes Man of the Year, who is a pastor, threatening and calling another pastor all kinds of disrespectful names.
and had the gall to send public threats of what he'd do to him and his wife, all because of differences in the doctrine of polygamy. When did this become an acceptable behavior? How come that other leaders chose to remain silent in calling out this destructive behavior? Is this really what the Great Awakening is all about? Did Pastor Kelly really duck and hide from Pastor Dowell? Pastor Kelly, you really got your hands full on this. Let's see how you respond. Sha-la-la. I want to make this clear that I take no pride in creating this video, but this is a very much needed word in which everyone in our community needs to hear. We are going to deal with a lot in this presentation. There is a much needed line, a much needed stand, a much needed divide that needs to be made in the Israelite community. It's time for all the pastors, all the mores within the Israelite community to take a unified stand in addressing polygamy, disruptive behaviors such as foul language, and the occultic behaviors that's constantly on public display. In this video and others to come, we, which includes the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, are going to address Pastor Dowell, Michael Israel, and others' disrespectful, unwarranted homophobic insinuations about me and the disrespectful threats made towards me and my wife, singular. We are going to expose their lies, deceptions, and their childlike behaviors that's on public display in their videos. I'm going to show you the root to why Pastor Dowell had this sudden sense of urgency to take extreme measures in his over-the-top name-calling and disrespect towards me and my family. Participated in the attempt to murder the reputation of me, my wife, and my family. We are going to address their occultic behaviors, their poor and deceptive teachings of the scriptures, their abuse of women, and lastly, their destructive tongue and other divisive acts. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 21 and 22, Hamashiach addresses the unwarranted homophobic name-calling of Pastor Dowell and others who deceptively choose to use in an attempt to destroy the character of their own brothers and sisters who disagree with their rhetoric. Verse 21 says, "Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire." Let's go to the Peshitta, which is the Aramaic translation of Matthew chapter 5, verse 21 and 22. It says, starting at verse 21, "You have heard that it was said to those who were before you, You shall not kill. And whoever kills is guilty before the court. verse 22. But I say unto you that whoever becomes angry with his brother for no reason is guilty before the court. And whoever should say to his brother, Rakah, which means I spit on you, is guilty before the congregation. And whoever says to his brother, you are effeminate, in Aramaic it means brutish, abnormal, is condemned to hell fire. The etymology dictionary definition of effeminate, it says, we're just going to highlight the red portion of the text: womanish, voluptuous, tender, effeminate, make a woman. Pastor Dowell, Michael Israel, and other Israelites, they take pride in making homosexual insults towards others, such as pastors and mores, elders, and women leaders in the Hebrew Israelite community. For some reason, Pastor Dowell is under this delusion that he and straightway holds the patent for defining masculinity, that they are the standard, or should I say the template of what a man is supposed to be. Usually when someone has to go over the top in displaying their masculinity, they are usually the ones who is struggling with their own sexuality. Perfect example, the late Eddie Long.
And the problem today, and the reason why society is like it is because men are being feminized and women are becoming masculine. And everybody knows it's dangerous to enter and exit. You cannot say, I was born this way. I don't care what scientists say. You can be converted. You were not born that way. Let me pray with you. Let me tell you, don't you be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. Well, I don't know what I am. Johnny, take your clothes down and I'll show you who you are.
The minister is Bishop Eddie Long of the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church outside Atlanta. 3 young men now are suing Bishop Long, accusing him of enticing them with money, cars, clothes, and expensive jewelry in exchange for sexual favors. And Bishop Long's third accuser, Jamal Parris, says the bishop would, quote, discuss Holy Scripture to justify and support the sexual activity. Now, Bishop Long denies all of the allegations. These photos of Bishop Long in tight gym clothes, which appear to have been taken by the bishop himself, were reportedly sent to another one of his so-called spiritual sons and released by B.J. Bernstein, the attorney involved in the lawsuit who you just saw moments ago.
See, our Dabar HaQuadas, which is the holy word in ancient Hebrew, gives stern warnings against those like Pastor Dowell, Michael Israel, and others who cannot bridle their tongue. James chapter 1, verse 26 and 27 says this: if any man among you seem to be religious, and bridle not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. Pure religion and undefiled religion before Allahayam and the Father is this: to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. The etymology dictionary definition of religion says this, and again we're just going to highlight what's in bold: piety, devotion, respect for what is sacred. So I want to reiterate, religion simply means devotion. It means commitment. Let's go to the etymology dictionary definition of religious. It says expressive of religious devotion. Better yet, let me just read that first line: devout, pious, imbued with or expressive of religious devotion. So again, religion simply is the outward expression of your devotion or commitment. Now let's go to the etymology dictionary definition of bridle. It says, to control, dominate, restrain, guide, govern. With knowing the meaning of these key words, let's revisit James 1, verse 26 and 27. If any man among you seem to be religious, in other words, devout, committed, and bridle not his tongue, in other words, control, restrain not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion, in other words, devotion, commitment, is vain. Pure religion, in other words, devotion, commitment, and undefiled before Allahayim, and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. So many within the Israelite community repeatedly refer to the remnant of Israel. I'm going to allow the Holy Word speak for himself in identifying the true characteristics of the remnant of Israel. Let's go to a key prophecy that gives a straightforward understanding and character of the true remnant of Israel. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 13 says, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity. Iniquity, Iwal, in Hebrew means to violate the law, to act wrongfully or unjustly, unrighteous, wickedness, evil, perverse, nor speak lies. Lies, kazab, in Hebrew means falsehood, deceitful, untrust. Neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. Deceitful, tharmayath, in Hebrew means fraud, delude, beguile, betray. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. So I want to make this clear to Pastor Dowell, Michael Israel, and others who are behaving in this very disrespectful manner. You are not part of the remnant of Israel. I'll say that again. You are not part of the remnant of Israel. Your videos are filled with lies and absolute deception about me and my wife, singular. And we'll address that shortly, why I keep saying singular. The both of you were very disrespectful towards me and my family. If any of you watching this video have or are currently condoning their nasty behavior, you are not part of the remnant of Israel. If you are speaking lies, deceptions, and foul words against anyone, you are not part of the remnant of Israel. James, the brother of Hamashiach, gives a stern rebuke against those who cannot bridle their tongue. James chapter 4, verse 11 and 12 says this: speak not evil one of another. Brethren, he that speaketh evil of his brother and judgeth his brother speaketh evil of the law, and judgeth the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is one lawgiver. Let me say that again. There is one lawgiver. Let me say it one more time. There is one lawgiver who is able to save and destroy. what that means and what it's simply saying, there's only one that has a heaven and hell to put you in. Not a single person, not a Pastor Dowell, not a Michael Israel, not a single person has a heaven and hell they can put you in. So there is one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who art thou? In other words, who are you? And I'm saying this to everyone that call themselves patronizing their own brothers and sisters with all kinds of name calling and obscenities, vulgar language. Who are you? Who art thou? Who are you? Who are you? Who art thou that judges another? This is strong. A very strong rebuke. Yahweh is not going to tolerate a person like these guys setting themselves up as being the judge, as Yahweh himself is. With that being said, many of you have asked the following question: Pastor, why did you remain silent through their barrage of insults? Proverbs chapter 11 verse 12 of the NIV says, and before I read this verse, I want to make this clear. I am not an advocate of the NIV Bible, but I like how this particular verse reads. It says, a man who lacks judgment derides his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his tongue.
We're not tolerating Christian Hebrews. He's only been what you call a converted Israelite for about 4 months, bringing the pagan ways of Christianity over into the faith. That's nothing personal, but apparently he's taking this personal. Is in reference to Pastor Richardson Kelly. First of all, a few things y'all need to know about him. He's only been what you call a converted Israelite for about 4 months. 4 months, that's it.
I'd like to welcome Pastor Richardson. He's got some great words of wisdom.
So I want to do a simple call and response. And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese. Russian. Italian. German. Swedish. Korean, Egyptian, Nigerian, Black. I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue with this country, because you were able to properly identify with all the groups that I called out in the countries that associates with them. But when I say black, everyone had to look at each other, try to figure out what you was going to respond to and what countries or what nationalities is associated with that. So I want everyone to understand that that is the underlying problem. That's the underlying root to the issues that we're dealing with right now. Our issues go beyond abortion. It goes beyond drugs. It goes beyond alcohol. It goes beyond prostitution. It goes beyond the Bloods and the Crips, homosexuality, senseless deaths. It goes beyond all the different issues that we see. The issue that we're really dealing with is what? An identity. It's an identity issue that we're dealing with. The ancient map of Africa, 1710. You can find this on Princeton University website. You will see a territory that's called Negro Land. On that same map, northwest, south central Guinea, you will see what is called the Slave Coast, and you will see a slave port by the name of Rita. Well, what does Rita mean? It means Judah. I'll say it again. Rita means Judah. I encourage everyone to read Deuteronomy 28, and you will see everything we are going through is listed in this prophecy, regardless of your belief systems, regardless if you're Islam, regardless if you're Kemet, regardless if you're a Nubian, regardless if you're practicing Roman Catholicism or the 5 percentage, regardless of what religions you are currently practicing, guess what? Our nationality is Israel. Our tribe is Judah.
And this is the problem that we're having in this faith right here of being Israel, is that we got people brand new converted over from Christianity, and are bringing the pagan ways of Christianity over into the faith.
All right, so let's start with Christ. All right, let's start with Christ. It means the anointed, synonymous with and translated to Greek Hebrew, Mashiach or Mashiach. All right, a title given to Jesus of Nazareth. In other words, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. That is the paleo pronunciation of the name Jesus. All right, it tells us that this word comes from the Latin Christus, ultimately from the Greek word Christos, which means anointed. Now, I want to make this clear. Christ is not the last name. That is not a last name. Christ is not a last name. It represents what? Responsibility. It represents the assignment. Yahweh Shai is the proper pronunciation. Jesus is a what? Transliteration. Alright? So again, Christ is not a last name, contrary to what many believe. Okay? But let's go to the word mass. So we understand Christ, right, means the appointed. Alright? Christ means the appointed. Alright, so mass, this is what mass means. It means Eucharistic service, dismissal, to let go, sin. Wait a minute. So you're saying Christ plus mass, you are saying, when you say Christmas, you are saying the dismissal of the Mashiach, the dismissal of the Christ. Let's define dismissal. Okay? Dismissal. This is what it means. It means send away. Wait a minute. Dismissal means what? Send away. Send different ways. Break up. Discharge. Renounce. Abandon. So when you say Merry Christmas, you are saying that you are happy that Christ has been dismissed, that Christ was sent away, that Christ was broken up, that Christ was discharged, that Christ was renounced, that he was abandoned. That's what it means when you say Merry Christmas.
Apparently he got a little upset and said, unless I recant. That's what he told Brother Israel. And I got a bunch of text messages here. Every single thing I'm talking about, I got the proof sitting right here on this phone.
So far, I've addressed 2 lies Pastor Dowell stated about me. Pastor Dowell stated that I was in this truth for 4 months. I was able to easily debunk that lie by showing the clip of me speaking to over 4,000 people at the Black Lives Matter March held in Richmond, Virginia back on July 16, 2016. I also debunked the notion that I bring paganism to the Hebrew Israelite community by showing the clip of me speaking against paganism within Christianity a few years back. Is Pastor Dowell suggesting that my teachings against polygamy is rooted in Christianity, paganism? Izzy suggested that having a woman elder in our ministry is a pagan practice. I want to say this to the women. I want to say this to all the women that is watching this presentation. Today, you will completely be liberated. I will be addressing Pastor Dowell's deceptive teachings of the suppression of the woman in the second half of this video. But in the meantime, I want to finish this much needed house cleaning. Now I'm going to give proper clarity as to why I chose not to debate Dowell. I'm going to fully expose why Dowell chose to go way over the top with his insults about me and my wife. I'm going to prove to you that Dowell really didn't want to have the polygamy debate. Here's a quote from Dowell. Pastor Kelly Richardson ducked out of the debate due to fear and knowing he can't win. Dowell stated that he has the text messages to prove why I chose not to move forward with the debate with him. So let's go to the actual text messages. Let's see if the text messages actually support his statements. Keep in mind, so far I proved Dowell's words hold no weight. This is the supposed Facebook post I made on August 21st, 2019 that supposedly caused an uproar at Straightway. I actually saw a video teaching of someone using a divided Israel to justify polygamy. That person actually believes Yah is married to two Israels. Apparently, this person truly don't understand the book of Hosea. A united Israel is the bride. The divided nation is the children in which judgment have come to them. Start with learning the meaning of the name Hosea. There was always one Jacob whose name was changed to Israel. So my question to you, the jury, did this warrant the nasty behaviors we witnessed from Pastor Dowell and Michael Israel? Did this post justify the behavior displayed by someone who functioned in the office of a pastor? Let's go to the actual text messages to see if what Pastor Dowell portrayed falls in alignment with the actual text messages he mentioned. What you see on your screen is a snapshot of my AT&T online call log for my cell phone. For the sake of confidentiality, I crossed out the 7-digit portion of the number. The first column, or should I say the first two columns, are the date and time, and to the far right is the length of each call, which are the actual minutes. The number listed is Michael Israel's phone number. Starting at the top row is the initial call I made to Michael Israel on September 1st, 2019 at 9:03 p.m. Michael Israel told me that Pastor Dowell would like to have a debate with me in regards to polygamy. My response, I want to hear directly from Dowell. Michael Israel said to me, he'll call me back, and which he did. He called me back at 9:09 p.m. with Elder Rufus on the call. My response, no disrespect to the elder, but I am a pastor, and Pastor Dowell should be able to speak for himself, pastor to pastor. He should be able to speak to me directly. The elder stated that he speaks for Pastor Dowell, and his tone was very disrespectful. And so I hung up on them and called Michael Israel back at 9:43 p.m. and reiterated to Michael Israel that I want to hear directly from Pastor Dowell. If not, the answer is no. So at 9:55 p.m. the same night, Michael Israel called me back with Pastor Dowell. Our discussion lasted for 12 minutes. We discussed the location which Dowell expressed his concern about home court advantage for me if we held the debate in Virginia. However, we did not set any dates. We were looking to have the debate at the beginning of the new year. In our three-way discussion, I reiterated that I didn't want to label this as a debate, but as a discussion because of the negative connotation that comes with the word debate. I made it clear in our discussion that I did not want us to speak for extended blocks of time and that I wanted us to be able to engage each other directly in the form of a discussion. In the end, we agreed to remain completely silent and table the planning for this event until after the holy days. Needless to say, Dowell broke that agreement. On September 2nd, 2019, I sent Michael Israel the following text message. After giving it some thought and watching this video again and listening to the jabs yesterday, call it a debate. I'll travel to where he is. I'd rather do it in a place that would allow all of Straightway, which includes the women, to be there. I'm bringing 5 smooth stones. No more talk. On September 6, 2019, I sent another follow-up text message to Michael Israel wanting to solidify a date and location close to Straightway. I called you this morning, but you were doing your live. Nevertheless, let's solidify a date and location close to Straightway. Now, does this sound like someone who's trying to avoid a debate? Does this sound like someone who is backing down from Dowell? Michael Israel stated, okay, I will set it up. So my question to everyone that's watching this presentation, is it a coincidence that every derogative video from Dowell and Michael were made after September 2nd, 2019, and more specifically after September 6th, 2019? Is it a coincidence that you did not hear a peep from Dowell when I made the initial post on August 21st, 2019 on Facebook? For almost 2 weeks, they did not say a single word until after I made it clear that I wanted to bring the discussion to his territory, because he expressed on our call that he did not want to come to Virginia due to me having home court advantage. For 4 days, Dowell and Michael went into complete spin mode to give this impression that I was ducking them. They went into complete spin mode to give this illusion that Pastor Dowell is trying to search me down to have a discussion when our discussion began on a 3-way conference call on September 1st. So on September 10th, 2019, I decided to pump the brakes on the debate due to them bringing my wife into the discussion. I was still going to have the debate even after the name calling towards me. But they completely went overboard once they brought my wife into the discussion. And so I sent Michael Israel the following message. I'm really disappointed at what's been getting back to me. The layers of disrespectful things said not only about me, but comments about my wife. Nevertheless, I'm not mad, but very disappointed. I never ran, nor have I ever ducked from anyone. The previous text messages says differently. I have been more than respectful to you and to your family. This discussion is supposedly be based on giving clarity. Why the negativity leading up to it? Regardless of the shenanigans, you're still my brother, and I'm grateful for the hospitality of your family towards me a year ago. In July 2019, while I was in Jacksonville, Florida, on company business, Michael Israel and his wife invited me over for dinner, in which they displayed impeccable hospitality. This is why I made an assertive effort to keep things at a respectable level on my end. Michael Israel responded on September 10th, 2019. This is what he says. Are you going to do the debate? My response, initially, I said I would. But then the negative comments and the name calling began to come out. Condition, or should I say conditional. Only if you guys publicly retract the nasty comments, retract what was said about my wife and bringing her into the discussion. If you cannot do that, then absolutely no.
An FBI report from August has recently been discovered identifying black identity extremists as a terrorist threat. Now, I read through this report and it reads that the FBI assesses it is very likely black identity extremist, or BIE, perceptions of police brutality against African Americans spurred an increase in premeditated, retaliatory, lethal violence against law enforcement and will very likely serve as justification for such violence. The FBI assess it is very likely this increase began following the August 9th, 2014 shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, and the FBI assesses it is very likely incidents of alleged police abuse against African Americans since then have continued to feed the resurgence and ideologically motivated.
I want to show you something right quick. What was shown today.
What's the deal? You already know what it is, baby. So in the video to pump out to my young boys, maybe girls. I just got added in a video. I'm about to watch this joint, see what he talking about. Let's see what he talking about.
Today I'm going to be speaking on this situation with Pastor Dowell, Ringo TV, and some other subsidiary characters that is involved in the story. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have a lot of people in the Hebrew Israelite community who feel like they are qualified, or for whatever reason feel like they should be able to speak on situations and matters, almost as if they're a judge, to cast judgment on people, to come in the name of the Most High even. And it's very evident that many of our...
Alright, off rip, we get, I guess this one of Dow peoples or something. Let's go.
People who are coming into this knowledge are not girded properly. They don't know Torah, they don't know the law, and it shows. Why am I saying this? Because you have a situation where Pastor Dowell, for those of you who don't know, Pastor Dowell is one of the biggest leaders in the Hebrew Israelite communities. What he's known for is being able to take brethren into communities. They buy land, they live off the grid, they live away from society, and it's very admirable, right?
Well, from what we know, they're not buying land. He's owning land. He's buying the land, and that's all him. But let's go.
Because they're coming out of this world, right? They're being separate, being holy, being separate. And that's one of the things that many people, including myself.
I mean, with everything that's been coming out as far as the adultery that's going on over there, and virgin auctions and all of this other type of stuff, I don't know, being set apart and holy. If you say so, let's go.
Admire him for, because they were able to do something and starting a community. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I'm trying to learn myself. I'm pretty young, but I'm trying to learn it myself.
You're trying to learn the in and outs of it. Ringo got like 13 videos. You can learn the in and outs of it. Hours long. But you probably ain't checked those out. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be making no video like this. But let's go.
But I know that it's very difficult. Okay? It's very difficult. So much so to the point where myself, I am not qualified to speak on some of the difficulties that Pastor Dowell and Straightway Ministries may be having when it comes to dealing with people on a community. I know.
Hey, you said you're not qualified. That don't mean other brothers of truth ain't qualified. Let's go.
But that's something that's very difficult.
So that boy Ringo over there doing diligent work. Diligent work on Dowell. Research. They bringing out interviews. They got witnesses. I mean, it's real work being did. Fervent work. But because you're not qualified, nobody qualified. Let's go.
Nevertheless, and I'm not a Pastor Dowell fanboy or anything like that. I'm just giving you some context. When I first started listening to Pastor Dowell, it was about 3 years ago. And I noticed something very quickly, that they had a lot of people who spoke out against him.
Okay. So you've been watching Dowell for 3 years. We got that. So you've been watching Dowell for 3 years. All right.
Some people would have channels, whole channels dedicated to speaking against Pastor Dowell and some of the teachings that he has and some of the issues that they were having in their congregation. And one of the craziest situations was when a guy by the name of Zion Music Ministries, I don't know if that's still their YouTube name, but this guy decided that he was going to prophesy in the name of the Lord, against Straightway Ministries and Pastor Dowell. He said within a year, their ministry will be devoured by the sword. Now, this is what I mean when I say many people are not girded in this word. Because if you knew the law, you would understand in Deuteronomy chapter 18, starting at around verse 15, it tells you that if a prophet speaks a word in the name of the Lord, and that word did not come from the Lord, and that prophet spoke it presumptuously, even that man shall die. You see, one of the first things that you have to understand when you come into this truth is that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is talking about when you're afraid to even step out on that limb and say that God told you to say something.
All right, and nobody said
God did not tell you to say that.
All right. Nobody said God told him to say that. Come on now.
You put the Lord's name behind it, so
it's
that
late. It's late now.
You know that it don't hold weight, but you just speaking it from your own heart. So, what Pastor Dowell did was he waited a year and 1 day.
All right.
You have a lot of people who have strong feelings against somebody, and will then try to use the scriptures to speak against someone else, because the scriptures hold weight in all of our eyes, right? Because we all say we believe in the Most High. We all say that we try to follow this word. So that holds weight in our hearts and in our minds.
What's the deal, y'all?
Your opinion may not hold weight to someone else. So what you have to try to do is use the Bible.
See if I can get my camera on this joint
to justify your opinion, so that your opinion now holds weight like the Bible does. And that cannot be done. And I see that happening all the time. So this particular situation, Pastor Dowell is said to have committed adultery. Okay? And
do you agree with that? Let's see.
He's being accused of that by a guy by the name of Ringo TV. Now, one thing about Pastor Dowell is this. Pastor Dowell issued out a challenge to Geno Jennings after Geno Jennings said that he would debate anybody on the biblical topic of divorce and remarriage. In his pride, he stated something, he said he'll debate it. So, knowing Pastor Dowell, he called his bluff, and Pastor Dowell issued him to a challenge. If any of you know Pastor Dowell, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, all you have to do is search Pastor Dowell, Geno Jennings, you'll see all that debacle that happened. He issued a debate, and he challenged him to that debate. Geno Jennings never responded to the challenge. When you go on the channels of Geno Jennings and some of the people who were on Geno Jennings' side, they said that they didn't want to debate him because Pastor Dowell used curse words, and he was very rash with his mouth and stuff like that.
All right, buddy.
Whatever, bro.
Come on, yeah, right. Come on.
Putting his business onto YouTube for the people to see. Now, why do I bring that up? Because you have guys like Born Row and Ringo TV, and I'm not against these brothers at all. I'm not on nobody's side. I don't have no dog in the fight.
I can't tell. Sound like you got a side.
I am simply looking at this objectively. But you have these guys who are putting themselves in a position of being a judge and casting aspersions, telling people that they're in error and that they need to repent, which is fine. But you cannot do that not having heard both sides of the story.
You sound like Dowell. Dowell refuses to tell his side of the story. Dowell is yet to get on camera to tell his side of his quote-unquote side of the story. So, let me get this straight. I can sit up there, go out, stab a bunch of people, and I'm on trial. They're trying to get my side of the story. And I don't get my side of the story. What then? Can then nobody judge me? Can then nobody say nothing to me about what I did if I don't give my side? Because, only the Most High know my heart. I might have been told to do something, even though we know for a fact that that's sin. Even though, you're supposed to love thy neighbor, you don't stab your neighbor. But if I sat up there and did that, and I don't ever get my side, but the people that's outside that can clearly see me doing something that's wrong, they can't say nothing about that. Alrighty.
And that is something that Pastor Dowell has already said. But Pastor Dowell have to say
Dowell has said, he has said that, but he has said that in the same vein of, I'm not going to tell my side. I'm not going to explain what happened with Jamie's wife, and how she ended up with Elder Becker. He said, I'm not going to explain how, Eric ended up off the land and I ended up with his wife and having the authority to sell his daughter off to somebody else. He didn't explain scripturally where he was able to even do any of that. His logic was, we know his logic, he's already said it in other videos, that his logic is he believes that, what's her name? Mama Nelly, and Eric was not married because they had a contract from a marriage contract or whatever. He believes their marriage was not real. He believes that she didn't have a covering, even though when they had the interview, he acknowledges Mama Nelly as Eric's wife. We know this for a fact. Anybody with eyes that can see, like you talking about you doing this objectively, but sir, anybody with eyes that can see that that Mama Nelly, Eric, and his daughter all came to Straightway. Eric ended up banned from the land, and then Dowell took his wife and married her. We know the scriptures. This is simple math. We know the scriptures that a woman is bound to her husband as long as he liveth. We know that there is no case in the Bible or in the Torah where a woman is divorcing a man. So why is Dowell constantly condoning these women to divorce their husbands and then giving these women off to other men? This is simple math. This ain't nobody sitting up there talking about they getting words from the Most High, and nobody's trying to put super judgment on Dowell. We're just calling it out for what it is. That's a wrong thing to do. Just like you feel like with me and Ringo or whatever, who else, what we're doing is wrong, the same way you set this camera up and the same way you made a video and you saying y'all are wrong for doing that, It's the same concept. We're setting our camera up. We're telling Dowell, you're wrong for doing that. And you saying, oh, you gotta get Dowell's side and this side and that side. Did you get my side or Ringo's side before you set this camera up and made this video? Since sides is important, since all sides have to be put on the table before you can say anything about anything. Did you get my side? Did you get Ringo's side? Did you reach out to me? Did you reach out to Ringo? Come on now.
I'm gonna leave right. I'm gonna speak the next 6 minutes. It's good. I learned in time. It's good to get the whole side of the story. And the reason why I let that video play, the first video played for almost 35 minutes, because I want to show that the other man who won this debate with Dowell, he did the same thing to him, and if he would give Ringo the same runaround or anybody else, because he just it's almost like it's like two sets of gang members basically talk all this gangster raw stuff. And you got these silly people that's sticking up for him and don't know the whole history about Dowell. Don't know he's done this before over and over and over. And clearly, we see that. And no one said, like they said, no one said, you don't have to say that God told you. All you have to do is look in the scriptures and see that the commandments that he broke. You can see that he caused strife. You can see that he caused division. You can see that he covered another man's stuff. He manipulated those women and put things in their head like Satan would do, and probably came in with you have one of the women that put a wedge in between in the video and put something in the woman's head to break them down that they don't need their husband. So he's behind that. Clearly, he influenced the women to do that so he can sit back and clear his hands. And there were women. It was a woman's testimony that told about that. Another thing so he broke the covenant. He covered his neighbor. He committed adultery, and then he caused strife among the brethren. So how is he qualified to be a pastor when he's breaking his own covenant? And like the brother said, you don't have to. God don't have to tell you that. All you gotta do is open up the Bible and the Torah and go to the 10 Commandments and see how many commandments and statutes did he commit. That's what everybody was talking about. See, since he wants to go with the Bible, how can someone tell you something about something when they're not even following the scriptures? See, the problem is he's trying to quote you the Bible, but the Bible is revealing what he is. The Word is revealing. Does this match up to a leader? Does this match up? If I'm teaching and leading something, and I'm supposed to be leading the flock, and I take my position or one of the offices out which the Holy Spirit assigned, if I do that, I would be held responsibility. Because if I'm teaching the Word and I have knowledge of the Word, who you think God's gonna come first? It's the leaders. And so he wants to absorb himself. He's that kind of want to throw it back on. But he started and he knew how to manipulate the scriptures to himself. He used that and then he re-indoctrinated. And I bet you maybe the Most High did try to reach him, but he cut his spirit off. And now he dictated from some teaching from another person that was his mentor, took some of that, and then started his own cult basically from another man. And this documentary on that. And then these foolish men who would put him as an idol, instead of find out for the Most High themselves, instead of fasting and praying and find out is this true about Dowell. They will rather hear his so-called influences instead of doing the research for themselves. And it's crazy. Now you see he did this before. He insulted a man and his wife, and he did it in a threatening manner. So he said, if someone starts insulting your wife, you're not going to go and talk and reason with somebody. He's not a rational, reasonable person. In civil people who have discussions, I've seen two people when they have a disagreement about some scripture, you don't sit down there and what I know is even with the camps, they use the manipulation tactic of controlling, trying to dominate the conversation. One thing about communication is one person talking, one person listening. But you get some people, they've been trained like Dowell in probably some of these camps, how to control something and dominate. And sometimes and like what Sister Deborah said, just because the word, anybody can read the word as it is, but you need the Spirit to bring it to your understanding. And they kick people who don't give time to usually let the Spirit of God show them what their understanding is. So they use that as a manipulation tactic. And they don't like it when somebody, whether it's a man or woman, have a disagreement and discussion and say, no, you off on here, because it's the ego and the pride. There was Pastor Dowell and people like that in some of these camps. You can see like IUSC, they were exalted by men. They was not brought by the Most High God. And these some of these people, these well-known camps you see, most of them were brought up. They were put up by men. There's no, if you really, and if you don't believe me, ask the Father yourself. He will show you in His Word how they puffed up. They have the same spirit that the men back then, and they put the Messiah to the cross. And like this one person say, they were the one that went with Rome and put him up on the cross, because they want to be messiahs themselves. That's the truth. So they want dominance and control and a manipulation. And so this is where the Jezebel spirit can come in. So really, a Jezebel spirit ain't always pertaining to a woman. A man can have a Jezebel spirit too, and I believe a Jezebel spirit was in that congregation, not on the men and the women. So it's another spirit. See, and this is something that some Christians, believers, know this, but too bad some Israelites don't, because they say that's too Christianity. But they don't have the spirit, because only the spirit of the Ruach will reveal that. What is this, Lord? Why? That's what they do. They're very narcissistic. It's a spirit that they control, and they use it, and they take the word and they dictate it, turn it around and make it so like they fit up under their belief system and try to say that. And that's what this young man is a product of. That, and it's something that it would exalt men more than you must exalt the Messiah, and this is what we're seeing. And I give credit to the woman, Miss Deborah, was pointing that out, because she spent time. It's something that most of us men don't spend time with Most High God, but the women seem to get the results when they spend time with the Most High God and they fasting and praying. It's like He opened to them more than anything. But it's like the men, it's all about bravado and ego and trying to keep the women suppressed in their place. But I can say from my personal experience, being by a woman of God, and seeing how when she prayed and she fasted and worship, I seen the results of the Most High God going into action. I seen the Most High God going into the nursing home. I see the Most High God ministering to people. I see the Most High God giving deliverance around who He picked as a vessel and had the authority to cast out the demons. You wouldn't believe that, would you? Because it's not of But you have some men that don't even give time like these individuals. And even if they did come across something like that, they'd be scared to death. They would be scared. They talk all that stuff and think all the Bible, but when the real devil showed, when the real warlock of the witch showed up and do some stuff to, then what you gonna do and can manifest? Then what you gonna do? See, all this, he will talk a lot of stuff, but when God said, I'm gonna put you to the test, the Most High said, I'm gonna put you to the test. What you gonna do? And that's what they did. Some of them men that be talking all that raw stuff, they run like a dog between tails and they like. I bet you a woman would step up and stand up to a 30-foot demon before someone like Pastor Dowell would. And it wouldn't phase the one so big. I bet you a kid would. Because and some of these men, they don't have it. You know why? They don't have a relationship. That's why. It's obviously that's why they suppress the women. Because they don't have the wisdom of God. They don't let the women cultivate their gifts. They bring a part of it. They submerge and just let it be men. And this woman pointed that out. That men design between men and women. So there's unique things what the woman have gift, and there's unique things what the man have gift. And some things in sight that a woman has that a man don't have, that can contribute. If men would put away their egos and their attitudes, but they won't, because they won't let the Holy Spirit show them. But they claim to be men of Yah, right? But they won't let the Ruach show them, which is the Holy Spirit. It's a damn shame. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and cut this real short. But yeah, now you see where it started from. He did this before. Now you see the result. He don't want. He's clowning. He wanted to bully. Ringo didn't fall for it. TV didn't fall for it. He knew. He saw it coming. And anybody else, because it's what's the debate about? How are you going to debate about? Where's their debate when you breaking the commandments? How can you talk about marriage and divorce when you actually breaking the commandments? That disqualifies you right there. So really, there's no spirit of y'all in the presence of a debate when the person will take the position of a pastor who's breaking y'all's law. How can you debate and try to prove somebody you're right, another person wrong, and saying that they're right when you breaking the law themselves? It's crazy, and it's all over the YouTube feed. Think about it. All right, then, guys, take it easy. Be blessed, and seek Most High for yourself when you listen to any man or woman on YouTube or Facebook, anything, teaching, or on TikTok. Get it for yourself. That'll go for all of us, including myself, because these people are really showing who they really are. All right, then, take care.